All right. A threat to the world order. So let's talk about it. What is ChatGPT? In simple terms, the technical side, everybody can Google, figure that out, no big deal. It's simply a technology that is pretty much based on AI concept and machine learning to allow responses to simulate the same way humans can potentially also react. It uses different models that have been built. It extracts a lot of data. In this case, 570 gigabytes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is huge. That is insane. That is massive. 570 gigabytes is like, oh, you can imagine how many articles, books, Wikipedia, web text, research papers this thing has put together in billions of words. So the chatbot allows us to have interaction in a very effective way. And you guys will see it tonight. Really, this is crazy. It will blow your mind. Some of you are already using it. But the reason it's important, whatever field you are in on this call, understand the concept also. Use it for your own purpose. That's fine. And leverage it as an opportunity for yourself. I'll tell you one thing. If you check online, a lot of Asian community are pushing this big time. I've seen it, and in a lot of blogs, it's a big discussion there. So my goal is to make it within African community, Caribbean, to also make it something that is a big deal within our community also. We want our folks to know about it. At the minimum, have the knowledge, situational awareness, so that when you are in a meeting, somebody says, can you put together executive summary for a presentation tomorrow? You smile because that's probably what your colleague is going to do. So you have a leverage too. You know what everybody else is doing right now. All right, let's play in a fair field. Later in the future, let's, if there are regulations or whatever they want to do, that's a different story. For now, we're going to play the same game, okay? That's the goal at the end of the day. So let's keep it that simple. Tonight, the big one for me, we're going to talk and get into use cases. Then later I'll bring Demola to talk a little bit for us and give us some perspective. But the use cases are the big ones I want us to focus on so that you can see if some of those use cases applies to your own life. I'll run through some of the use cases. We go into demo and we start checking it in real time. It's crazy stuff, really crazy. First one, I'll talk about national defense. I'm into cybersecurity. I'm head of operation technology for a global consulting firm in North America here. And this is a big deal for us, right? Anything that has to do with defense, defensive posture, assessment within operation technology, critical infrastructure in the US, it's a big deal. For me, things that I care about is I want to know what are those key vulnerabilities within critical infrastructure in the US. That will be something I want to check and verify. For others, they're thinking of programming, cybersecurity work. Somebody else is thinking of legal work, healthcare work, personal project, whatever it is you want to publish a book. Every one of those elements are things you all will see tonight. It's crazy, crazy stuff. All right, let's go. All right, so some quick technical demos. And don't worry, if you're not a technical person here, don't sweat it, don't care. I'll just run a few things for us to start seeing that, boy, this is insane stuff. So let's take, for example, and if you guys don't mind, I'll do live demos so that we can kind of see in real time, so that you can appreciate a little bit and see that this is some mad, crazy stuff that was not there before, really. So let's give an example. In my old world, I did some work around running SQL queries. We build databases, so I need to run queries a lot. So because of that, sometimes I need complex queries, right? We use SQL, structural query language. It's just a command language to run queries, right? Some of you are already doing it. But you'll see tonight, I can use a tool like this Chatgpt to give me some script to quickly run. So I'll show you real quick. Let's quickly. One thing I would like us to do, just to show you guys, if you don't mind, let me copy the link to the chat. If you have a second, you can just start playing around it also. The link is on the chat. Now it will ask you, do you want to log in with your Gmail? If you don't mind, use your Gmail to log in. It will make it easy for you. If you don't want to, somebody said it's already full. Yes, this night was crazy. A lot of people could not enter. But let me show you guys. I was lucky. I've been one of the people that probably made you guys not have access to, but don't worry, just look at my screen. All right, let me share my screen. You can see my screen. Let me give you guys my screen to share. Then you see. This is what the screen looks like, ladies and gentlemen. All you're doing is you're asking this chat questions. So let me type, for example. So one of the questions I wanted to ask in our use cases would be generate SQL query to sort inventory data by types. So I'll come here. Let me type that same question here, right? And I'll click go. So one thing I'll tell you guys, this is crazy. Look at everybody. Look at this. It's giving you the specific queries. Now you can get into details. You can make it go into more complex details if you want it to. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's going to ask me, okay, what is the difference between this and Google? Ladies and gentlemen, Google is, my friend Demola is going to say, he said, Chatgpt makes Siri and Alexa looks like illiterate, because this is going to get it into details for you guys. It's insane, crazy. So look at this. This is programming. So for you that are developers, it's giving you ideas. Let me put some extra code on development. Let's say generate script for Splunk. For some of you that are into cyber security, look at this, everybody. Let me just show some crazy use case here. Let me type another one. It will just start generating code for you on importing logs from different sources to Splunk. This is crazy, guys. And don't worry, if you're not a developer, don't care. I'm coming to you. Let me start with my technical folks, just to show you how your life is easy. So if you have a colleague at work and they are trying to be smart because they went to use GPT, and you are struggling, ladies and gentlemen, don't do that again. Come here also. It's a fair game. Everybody's going to use it, and we will leverage it together at this point, okay? So let me take another one, then I'll use other use cases that are not technical, okay? For my SAP folks in the world of SAP, right? I can sneak in something for us just because I'm an SAP guy, my old world. Let me just sneak that in. So for example, I'm stuck and I'm trying to figure out some key transaction code to work on, certain implementation. I can come here, just type it in. It's going to give it to me. Now, let me tell you the one that blew my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy stuff. This blew my mind. Imagine you and everybody here, especially if you're in leadership role, you have to submit a report to your leadership tomorrow, right? And you're looking for an executive summary. Later in the, next week, I would have like a information session for people that want to do my upcoming program in January 28th. I have like a workshop before that. And let me show you something you guys are going to use, for example. This is crazy. So normally when you're doing assessment, you want to have an executive summary because you're submitting it to leadership. It can be third-party risk management. It can be data governance, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Now look at this. This is crazy. Look at this. I'm going to say, provide, always use the word sample so that it will not ding you. Provide sample executive summary for NIST 853 assessments. This is awesome. I mean, if you're in leadership, you would get what I mean here, or if you're in lead role, this is crazy stuff. It will just give you some very cool example. So what you just do is to copy the example and leverage it immediately. This is lovely. I love this. You don't know how much this is a big deal. Really, this is amazing. This is super awesome. Super, super awesome. If this is all I personally get from stuff like this, bingo, this is priceless, because what this has done is that you can come up with an executive summary of a report and start massaging it to present to your board, C-level executive at any point in time. And let's say it's not this. I may say I'm doing like a risk assessment, third-party risk assessment, third-party risk assessment, executive report. Remember, when you are done with all these things you do, you have to submit report, right? And I don't know your world. You might be in the healthcare and you need to submit a report on certain procedures, whatever it is. This is it for you. This is amazing. Now let's jump to folks that are in the world of clinical research. I have some folks on this call that are in the world of clinical research. So let's say, for example, you want to you're going for what we call a site initiation visit. You can come here and say, what are the steps to conduct a site initiation visit? Let's try that, people. Steps to conduct a site initiation visit in clinical research. So look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to give you description, summary to make you feel it, what the whole thing is about, and it will start listing the specific steps to you. This is crazy. It's going to tell you what to do, review the protocol before the visit, prepare the necessary documentation. My folks in the world of research, this is a gold mine also. It doesn't have to be this. If you're writing a report, let's say you're writing a safety report, probably you'll not write it, but if somebody needs guidance on writing a safety report, come here, and this will streamline your work, your stress, in terms of having to think about going to start exploring from multiple sources from Google. This is crazy, guys. Let me take another one, another use case that we can quickly sneak in. Let's go to some other ones out there. Now, let me tell you one thing. Now, it doesn't allow us to do crazy things, right? So I can say, if you want to say top malware out there, it will tell you, well, sorry, we don't, so you have to find a way to coin it so that it will not sound illegal. So we don't do illegal stuff here, right? So we just want to make sure it's ethical stuff we're doing here. So let's take, for example, I need stuff like this. I may ask a question like, provide top 10 known vulnerabilities in healthcare. I may say known cyber vulnerabilities in healthcare. So again, it's going to be, so you can see it's going straight to the point, ladies and gentlemen. Then I might even, I could say, and the remediation, meaning tell me the top ones in healthcare and the fixes. It will automatically start giving you that information in real time. Let me pause. If somebody wants to type one or two things in the chat that you want us to do quick research, then you can see how it works. Somebody said access denied. Yes, because a lot of people are trying to get in right now. It took me, I've been trying to get in for the whole day. So finally I got in when I was about to start this class. So sorry guys, but don't worry, once they scale and they fix all their system, their performance issue, I think we would have better chance to have more of us in the chat. All right, let me pause if we have any questions so far. Type real quick. What's the link? Okay, let me send the link again, everybody. Another thing is, I love that. Somebody said generate love letters in Pidgin. Yes, this was a big one. Demola was telling me about this. Okay, look at this, everybody. This is lovely. Generate love and romantic letter in Pidgin. Oh boy, this is awesome. All right, so you guys are showing a secret. So if you are sharing love letters now, your spouses, your girlfriend, and everybody knows where you're getting it from. I hope this letter finds you in good health. The way they smile, the way they laugh. Oh Lord. Okay, I'll keep quiet here. But you can see it's giving you some vibes here. This is awesome. It gives answer to questions. You have to phrase it in a way that makes sense. Then you can put your name. You can ask. Okay, you can say another one. Tell me the steps to cook jollof rice. Now, let's start the debate: African jollof rice versus Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Botswana jollof rice. But let's say jollof rice, right? Tell me steps to cook jollof rice. Okay, let's see. All right. Jollof rice is a popular dish in West Africa, Ghana, Senegal. Yeah, basics you can see. Ooh. All right. People that like to bake. All right. List steps to make of fada rice. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just amazing, really. Somebody will say, well, we can get this on Google, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, Google is afraid right now too. So, so be careful. I mean, it's just amazing, really. It's just amazing, 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 good stuff only. Now, let me tell you another one for those of you that like to write. So let's say you could say you want to write a book. I want to write a romantic book, right? I'll say, give me 10 chapters of romantic book. All right, let's say 10 chapters of romantic book, something like that. So to break the chapters, give you a recommendation, right? It will give you 10 potential chapters you can use to write your book. This is crazy, guys. All of you are authors already. You are an author, you are an author. I'm giving you authorship like Oprah now. This is you. There's no more excuse, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy stuff. Now, you can now take each of these chapters and ask it to create content for each of the chapters. Hello, so you can write a book in a day. Investment tip, I like that, Yemi. So let's say 10 prolific investment tips. All right, now, of course, disclaimer, we are not giving you advice on investment, but 10 prolific on investment tips, right? All right, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy stuff. Diversify your portfolio, invest for long term. Somebody said, which stock can I purchase? Sorry, we'll pass on that one. Ask if when we'll build Binance collapse, I'll let you guys do that yourself. But you get the gist. All right, so what we're going to do tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because we like to make it as interactive as possible, I'm going to make us, we'll quickly do, Demola, please, can you raise your hands real quick? I'd like Demola to just chip in, give me some insight, just generally. Then later, Demola will tell me where he sees this heading. None of us has a crystal ball, I get it, but you know, some of us are much closer to it. Demola goes to a lot of conferences. It's very vast and amazingly wide in this area. So I'm curious to hear his thoughts. Where does this see this going? Maybe we should start with that. Bro, please, can you raise your hand so I can find you? Okay, thank you, Demola. All right. I just lost you. Let's see. Okay, got it. Okay, over to you, bro.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. How is your New Year resolution going? I already broke mine anyway. Okay, so we're here to talk about Chatgpt. And Akin has already, said a lot around this concept. To his point, it's not a new thing, but we are just seeing the consumerization of artificial intelligence, right? So this is really, really interesting. And the use cases that we've been seeing since its launch has been, it's been crazy. And to kind of just give you guys, some context. So when Facebook came out, right, it took about 10 months to get to 1 million users, right? It took Netflix 3.5 years to get to 1 million users. It only took 5 days to get to 1 million users for Chatgpt. And one of the reasons for that is we've been primed, we've been seeing it around us, so there's this unseen gap waiting to be filled. So when this one came up, I mean, we've all been using Siri, we've all been using Alexa, we've all been, even, when we use Google and when we are typing the autocomplete, all these things there, like AI, your banking, customer service when you're chatting with it. But it's all there. But when this one came up, we started seeing, a lot of use cases and people still, it's crazy, right? And people, with any technology, there's always, unintended use. And I know Akin was talking about vulnerabilities and, that coming. So what you are seeing right now, when this thing first came out, I think they've temped it down a little bit. What you are seeing right now is it's being regulated a little bit because I was reading and someone said, okay, show me top vulnerabilities in banks and write me, a code to exploit those. So, technology is never neutral. You see people finding very good use cases for it, and you find people that are going to be using it for malicious and, very terrible things. So, but the opportunities are there. It's endless. I mean, it's very new. I think it came out maybe November, early December last year. And if you use it like myself for a very long time, you start, picking a lot of holes in it. And you start seeing a lot of patterns, when you ask it some questions in different form repeatedly, you start seeing those patterns. But they continue to train. It's regenerative and, they call it generative and pre-trained transformer. So they use a lot of, reinforcement learning to kind of training, and there will be different iterations going forward. So, it's the possibilities are endless right now. We'll continue to see different iteration of this. So Akin was asking me about, okay, so where do I see this going, right? And how does this affect us? So number one use cases, you guys now have like a personal assistant that could help you in a lot of ways in your day-to-day activity. Someone in my office said, if you're like me or that person who say, yeah, I'm not really into romantic stuff. So it was their wedding anniversary, maybe like 15, 20 years anniversary, and he wanted to write something nice. And he went to GPT to write something, very nice to his wife, and different use cases, and some very mundane thing to really cool stuff like writing code. So that's where it is right now. So you guys knowing about it would help you, and you'll find different use cases. And it's also for us as a community, to Akin's point, that we kind of get to know this thing. And if you see the one that talks about pigeon, you'll discover that it doesn't really write clean pigeon like you and I were for people who speak pigeon. We would write it, but you can see that, and that's the gap there. So when it comes to natural language processing, we don't have for us, like Africans, right? It's still like underdeveloped because most things are written in English, and so it only makes sense to kind of write things in English or than other languages. I think this can speak other languages, but not so much anything coming from Africa. So there's an opportunity there.
Demola, just a question. I was kind of curious. So I know we don't have a magic bulb, but if we could predict the future and say, from a business point of view, opportunities that we can see right now, as you're talking about the pigeon. So I'm challenging somebody on this call to say, okay, maybe I'm going to be the person to streamline and find, a better way to enhance how pigeon is integrated into the database. What are some opportunities we can think of, use case wise, from a business and an advantage point of view, that is not the one we want to execute, right? That you want to share to the whole world and say, guys, why don't we, because it's open source. I know one of the ones you kind of shared with me, I can throw that out. Maybe somebody can run with it. It's okay, while you're doing Chatgpt, can we have it integrate into a PowerPoint and automatically be populating and designing for us? Because now I have to move this to a PowerPoint and start modifying it, right? Why don't we have someone, I throw it out to somebody out there to design something, work with the development team, and as you're typing it, it's writing it in the PowerPoint automatically, immediately. So I'm just throwing that out there. And so give us some use cases you can think of, if any, Demola, that you think it's it's a gold mine. And you're right, there are APIs available for this right now.
Yeah. So I mean, anything it's going to be hard to kind of go into any specificity at this point because the opportunities are there. And they are exposing the APIs as well. And you can think of it like, to your point, if you think, okay, this is only generating text, I want something that would that can do like a PowerPoint presentation, that's a use case. And we've talked about, it's based on natural language. And it's something, if you think of anything, you can actually make it happen. But the first thing is you just have to understand how to call the API and integrate that into whatever application you have. So that's one thing I want to touch though is, so I was reading something from McKinsey, and they said by 2030, 375 million workers may need to switch occupation. Okay, that's I think 14% of global working population. So one thing we have to start. So it might sound like a little bit scary to a lot of people, but I don't want us to look at the scary part. I want us to look at the opportunities that this is also going to be presenting as well. So now the question is, okay, if I have to switch up job, what can I do, right? And, it's still up in, even McKinsey, they didn't really conclude about, but they said, some of the soft skills that we are supposed to be having, they would now be more important, like emotional intelligence, like, analytics. Because if you think about it, I mean, this can crunch a lot of numbers and things like that, but it's still, when on the scale of things, maybe the intelligence that he has today based on people's evaluation is still like maybe like a third or fourth grader, really. When you compare that to humans. So it's going to continue to get, so in the future, people are now speculating, okay, will this thing be able to write a code to improve itself? Can it be improving? Can it continue to be intelligent? It's still yet to be seen. But again, people that are actually developing that model and all those things. So that's why, you see a lot of people going in the direction of AI machine learning. So personally, if you are one of those people actually developing the models and things like that, learning about data and looking for different use cases, because this thing, natural language processing is the future. And also there's another one that they have right now that you can go check on. And Akin, I know we talked about this. So they have a new one that called that E2. So you guys can check it out as well. You can actually tell it to create, you can describe an image and ask it to create that image, and it's going to do it. So it's not Chatgpt, it's one of the other, product that they have, OpenAI. So you guys can also check it out.
Demola, can you send that to me also? I will share that with the community.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put in. Let me put it in the chat right now.
And please, everybody, we have a YouTube page. Just click like it so I can post this video we are recording right now. You can all see it there. Just like the page, you get notification once I post it. Thank you, Demola. That's amazing.
No worries. So this one is not as mainstream as the chat piece, but again, it's also something to look at. Okay,
that's a good one. Okay, that's great. Okay, let me open that too. Okay.
So I just put it in the chat.
That I can see that. Oh, okay. So that's supposed to help you to come up with images. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So you can just describe an image. So you want, you want a monkey playing basketball. Wow. That's an example, right? Wow. Yeah, and it's gonna create that. for you
Wow.
in
Wow.
even in high resolution. So
It was lovely to see.
so I
Okay.
guess let me just wrap this up by saying the opportunities are there, they are endless. This is going to help you guys. People should start thinking about how this applies to them and how it's going to transform the way we work. And if anyone says that, okay, yeah, maybe this is really going to impact my work and what I do going forward, then we have to start looking at that transition plan to kind of make sure we get into those occupations that will be in high demand in the future. Thank you, Akin.
Thank you so much. Can we all give some love to Demola, please? Everybody, I want you all to just put a chat. Thank you, Demola. And honestly, I'm doing this because of him. He was one that shared it. He was in a conference and he was gracious enough to honor and say we should share it with our community. This is amazing. And that's what we expect, really. It's not about, this is just the purpose of what we do, really. When you see an opportunity like this, we're not going to keep it. Now, if you keep it, the sad thing is that other community will share it and we will be losing. So it's important when we see things that we feel will benefit our community, share it. Now, a lot of people want to know it and keep it to themselves. Good for you. It's not useful to us, but we want you to share stuff like that. That is the way we can impact our community, make the best out of our communal together in diaspora at the minimum. This is excellent, really. I mean, I've used it so much. Now, the final thing we'll do, we typically do this, is we're going to do like a quick 10 minutes working session, then I wrap up. The working session is simple. We put us in a group, and in your group, everybody just type a few things that you do at work and ask somebody to talk about it. Type it in Chatgpt, see if you can use it to enhance your business or your line of work. If it's programming, whatever you want to test, if it's clinical research, if it's desktop support, if it's whatever it is, I write a lot of report stuff or whatever. So stuff like that interests me. So we'll do a quick breakout session for 10 minutes. The purpose is simple. Go in there as a group. There's no leader, just anyone can just lead. Just go in there and just quickly say, okay, somebody can just randomly say, can you type this? So open Chatgpt real quick. Then we just put a few things and we can help each other communally and try and see if we can leave here with some actionable item in the next 10 minutes. And I'll wrap up and that's it for tonight. But let me do a quick breakout session. We normally do that in our program. Let's do that real quick. It will be fun. Make it as fun as possible and enjoy this session together. We'll have just a few of us do let's do 5 breakout session only. And let's have fun, everybody. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. All right. We try to make sure we stick to time. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is amazing. You guys are an amazing crowd. I can see some of my buddies here. Bright Olubumi, awesome. Tiniso, awesome. Mazi, more. Oh boy, you guys are awesome. Let's see. Kemi Adeoti, thank you. Tunrayo, thank you. Femi, thank you, bro. I know we need more time, really. Sorry, guys. We'll try, please, one thing very important. Can we give it up to Demola, please? Let's do it one more time. I can't have enough of that, really, because, it's nice when we have people that genuinely want others to succeed. And it's a blessing to have people like that within our community. I mean it. The reason I know about it is because of him. And the nice thing is, immediately came out of his conference. He was gracious to say, hey, bro, you need to check this out. That's all I'll tell you. And I mean, that was just very gracious of him. So thank you, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The final thing before we leave, please, so that you can get updates of this video and everything, can we just do me one more favor? Click on our YouTube page I just sent right now. Just click like. It helps us to put your subscribe. Thank you, Yemi. Yemi is my Yemi is my, it keeps me straight on those language. Subscribe. Click the bell button to make things so you can get the information. But this has been an honor, guys, ladies. Like we always say, all we want to do is to be a footnote in your story of greatness. You got this as a team, put in the work. I feel good and proud that we Africans or Caribbeans or professionals in general that are seeking to change their lives, we put the work, put the time, and make sure we can compete too. The world is changing, and we will be adaptive as we get more information that can be useful to our community. We keep sharing. So thank you so much. As a matter of fact, part of our goal is to also have a program in data science. One of our great presidents, Otumba is active. Oh Lord, you are just amazing. No comment. But Ekpe is not on the call right now, but is head of innovation of one of the top consulting firms in data science. And he's going to be teaching us, doing a workshop on data science. I would invite everybody, join. It's a free workshop. Be part of it. Let's have fun. Oh, Mr. Wale, amazing. Thank you, everybody. 9 on the dot. Love you all. Thank you. Hey, Queenie, thank you, babe. Thank you, everybody. You all are awesome. You guys are super awesome. Have the best week ahead. We'll talk soon, everybody. Thank you.